Hello children, good morning. How are you all? I hope you all are safe at home. In this class, let's learn about the topic Introduction to Python. Introducing Python. So this year you are having Python software. Now let's see the topics in Introducing Python. So see here. If you want to get any output from the system, first of all you have to give the input. As the same way, if you give the input, it will process and it will give the desired result as output. So let's see this example once. If you want to prepare a dish, for example, here it is there, tomato pasta. So first you have to get all these ingredients. Then afterwards, the process is nothing but called cooking. So here the list of ingredients here these are list out here and the process is here. So boil water in a large pan, add pasta to the boiling water, simmer it for 10 minutes, drain the pasta using a strainer. In another pan, heat olive oil and onions to it. Add onions. When they become soft and translucent, add tomato pasta sauce. Simmer it for 2 to 3 minutes. Now add the cooked pasta into the pan and mix well. Garnish with grated parmesan cheese and serve it. So this is a process and final output is this one. As the same way, if you want to get a output from the system, for example, I'm having two numbers. The two numbers have to be add and the output is the desired result, means addition of the two numbers a plus b. So like that. So computer always follow IPO. IPO is nothing but input, process and output. So as you all know, Python is one of the computer language. So it is a most popular programming language. As you all know, what are the programming languages? The computer knows only binary language, which means only 0 and 1. So in order to design the programming language, in order to make the use of the computer, there are more programming languages such as C, C++, Lisp, Java, PHP, etc. So these are the many programming languages. With the help of these programming language, we can design the new softwares or games, etc. Nowadays, we'll follow some instructions. Those instructions will be listed out in an order is called program. No need to worry children. A program is simply set of instructions is called a program. It is a sequence of instruction. It will follow one order and it will shows us how to perform computation. This helps us to perform many tasks. This is called an input-output process and about the programming language. This Python is a high-level programming language. As you all know, computer understand only binary language, that is 0 and 1. As we all know high-level language, those will be translated by compiler or interpreter into high-level language or high-level language to low-level language and vice versa. This is one of the popular high level language. By this language, this will be converted into the binary language and that output will be processed and it will be shown to us in high level language. Now let's see this introduction of Python. Python is a popular programming language which is used to write codes for programs. It was created by Guido van Rossum when he was working at CWI, Centrum Wiskunde and Informatica, at National Research Institute for Mathematics and Computer Science in Netherlands. It was this language, which language children? Python. Python was released in 1991. Who has designed Python language children? Guido van Rossum. So let's see some of the features of Python which are so popular. Let's see these all children. So it is an easy to learn and general purpose programming language. It is an platform independent programming language. What is the means of platform independent children? Independent means nothing but it will work in any of the operating system. What is the means of operating system? As you all know, Android, OS, so Apple iOS, like that. So different operating systems are there. Operating system means it is an interface between the user and the computer. If you want to on the computer, after on that, OS will be loaded into our system. OS is nothing but operating system. Generally, in the systems, Windows will be open. Windows operating mostly will use Windows operating system. Some of other operating systems such as Linux, Unix. When comes to phone, Android or Apple, OSs can be used. It means it can be used in any machine and on any operating system. As I said now, so independent means in any other operating system it will work. Dependent means only on the particular operating system which was designed, then only it will be worked. Next, see, it has a simple structure, a few keywords and a syntax, clearly defined syntax. It is a case sensitive language, which means however the keywords are described or showed to us, like that only we have to follow. It supports two different modes for writing instructions. One is an interactive mode and the other is script mode. Interactive mode used to test and debugging of code, and script mode will be used to create and editing Python source files. And it is also used for commercial purposes. The source code of Python is available under general public license. Now let's see the next topic, applications and uses of Python programming. Now you all know what is the use of this Python programming language. So let's see here, let's learn here what is the use of this program. It can be use of this software. It can be used to build a website. You can develop the website, you can develop games, you can program robots, you can perform scientific computations, you can also develop artificial intelligence applications. So this is about some features and applications of programming language. Next, see how to install Python software into your computer. So if you want to follow if you want to install the Python software, let's follow these steps. The first thing is, so see, obtain a Python distribution. How you can obtain? Let's see. You can also download Python distribution from www.python.org/download. So if you type this code, this website address in your address bar of the website, then you will be redirected to this page. So after this, you have to click on Run dialog box, and to start the installation process, follow the instructions and keep clicking the next button until you see the highlighted Finish button. After you have installed Python, the screen will be looked like this. So this is a Python screen where you have to type the programs here. This is a Python screen. So on the Windows machines, the Python installation is usually placed in a C folder. In the My computers, in the C drive, it will be located as Python 3.7.0 version folder. This you can change this when you are running an installer. You can also keep changing this name also when you at the time of installing. Now let's see the components of Python window. This Python window has the number of components. What are the components? Generally for any window, these components are same. What is this first bar? It is a title bar where the name of the software will be displayed here. This bar contains minimize, maximize and close button. Below the title bar there is a menu bar. In the menu bar you are having different menus. What are the different menus you are having here? File, edit, shell, debug, options, window and help. And this is a white color screen on that some text is displayed, no children. This is a script area where you can write the programming language. And this is a status bar, means how many lines are there, in which how many columns are there, it will show displayed here. And this is a scroll bar. These all components are as usual same for the same as different windows. So as I said now, title bar will display the name of the software. Menu bar contains different menus. Now let's see how the file menu will work. File menu contains different options. Generally, what are the options contains file menu? New file, open, open module, and recent files. New means if you want to type a new program, generally we'll start a new file. If you want to open the previously saved file, it will be in control. It will be we have to open option. It will be in file menu. Next, open module. If you want to open a module, and if you want to see the recent files, that all will be located in the file menu. And other than that, you can also save the file, closing the file, and exiting the application. These all options also will be in the file menu. Now let's see the next option, edit menu. In this option we can contains the many, in this menu we are contains many number of options such as cut, copy, paste, and we can also select the text, and we can also search for the particular text or phrase, and we can also replace it, and with many other options. And next, about the help menu. This, if you want to see about if you want to know about the Python, any related topic about the Python, press F1 key or click on help menu. In this it will show about the different topics. This is about the menus. Next, in the Python we are having two modes. I already said earlier, script area and interactive mode. Let's see about the script area. In the script area we'll type our code. Next, in the status bar, I said in the status bar it will show the current status, which means you are writing, or in which column you are there, in which line you are there, how many lines are there, it will show. If you want to write the programming language, if you are not writing, if you stopped writing, so it will show. For example, while learning the English language, you first learn English alphabet A to Z. These will be finally construct the sentences, and you can also introduce special characters, punctuation marks that are used in English like full stop, comma, question mark. To learn programming language, we have to follow same pattern of learning. So let's learn now basics of Python. Let's learn the basics of Python. So in this, the first topic is about tokens. Simply nothing but tokens are grouped into symbols. In the Python program are grouped into symbols called tokens. A computer program consists of set of instructions called statements. A statement is composed of various components. Each component of programming statement is referred to as token. Python has the following tokens. So as I said, a program contains set of instructions. Those set of instructions are also called as statements. And how we will write the statements, children, in the English language or in the English subject? You will keep punctuation marks, full stop, commas, double quotations, like that, inverted commas. So like that, in the programming language also we have to use those all symbols. Those are nothing but called tokens. There are many different tokens. How many are there? There are 5 tokens, children. This is keywords, identifiers, literals, operators, and punctuators. Keywords. Keywords are having special meaning to the Python interpreter. Interpreter means, as I said, we are learning this high level language. It will be translated to low level language, as computer understand only low level language. This interpreter converts the high level language to the low level language. In the Python, it will be used as Python interpreter. Python interpreter reserve these keywords for its own use. Hence, these are not available as names for variables and functions. Keywords are also known as reserved words. As simply one name, children, keywords can also be called as an reserved words. Some of the keywords displayed in this box, let's see those keywords. False, none, true, end, as, assert, break, class, continue, def, del, elif, else, except, finally, for, from, global, if, import, in. Is, lambda, non-local, not, or, pass, raise, return, try, wide, with, yield. So these keywords, if you are using the program, these keywords we can be used for any separate function, but these cannot be used as for our own purpose. Now let's see about the identifiers topic. Identifiers are fundamental building blocks of a program. These are used to name different components of programs, such as variables, methods, and objects. Identifiers are defined by Python programmers. Example of a valid identifier. If you want to give a name or a value, that it will be stored in one name, one variable, that is nothing but called variable. If any customer is there, if you want to enter that customer name, that it will be saved in customer name option. For example, these all are example how to take a value. As you all learned programming language QBasic na children, how to give variable, how to print, how to take input and all, like that. Customer name, $M1 math, student 3 interest, very long identifier name for testing. Check prime. Example of invalid identifiers. Let's see what we should not do else. This is a keyword, that's why it is not valid. Income tax. Here space is provided. In space it won't accept the space. 2m underscore value. Starting only number is there. That's why it won't accept. So a name of an identifier should be start with an character but not with a number. Discount dash amount. So special character other than underscore and dollar are not allowed. Only these both will be allowed. Birth dot date. Only underscore and dollar will be allowed. Other than those, any special characters it won't accept. Next, literals. Literals are nothing but sequence of characters that are stored in variables and represent values in a program. Literals consists of digits, letters and other characters. Python supports the following type of literals. As simply is nothing but literals are sequence of characters. It is used to store a variables and it is used to represent in a programs. There are how many literals? String literals. When one or more than one character are enclosed in single quotes or double quotes or triple quotes, the literal is known as string literal. So more than one letter means it can be 3 or 4 or so on. It will be called as an string literal. So this is many examples of string literals. So this is a program. This is str. Str is nothing but string. So they have defined in triple quote, hello, I am learning Python programming dot close triple quotes and print str. Then what will be the output, children? This is on script mode that we will write the code here and the output will be displayed like this. I am learning Python programming. What we have written in the string, that will be displayed in the print by using print keyword. So string is a variable identifier what we have given this one. So that we have given hello, I am learning Python programming is displayed. Now let's see special literal topic. In Python there is a special literal called none. The none operator in Python has same significance as null operator used in other programming languages like Java and C++. It is used to initialize an object which has no value assigned to it. Which means, what is the means of none? If any value is not there, if we are not having any value to assign, so at that time we'll use none. Same as null operator. This null operator, it is used in many languages like Java and C++. So that's why the use of none means it won't return any value. None means nothing. That's it. So let's see the program. Price equals to none. Means here price means none. Print price. What is the price? Nothing. So none. None is a price. Now let's see numerical literals. In a Python, numerical literals are three types: integer literals, float literals, and complex numbers. Integer literals means these are values which represent only whole numbers. It can be either positive or negative. The integer value contains no sign represent positive value by default. Example, valid integer literals. So as you all know, minus numbers and numbers, positive numbers. Minus means generally we will represent minus 5, minus 10 like that. Positive numbers means we won't keep any plus sign before that. So simply we'll write like this. So plus 1455 means it is simply a positive number. Minus 101 means it is a negative number like this. Next, float literals. Float pointing literals represent values with a decimal point. These can be written either in fractional or exponential form. Example of valid real literals: 42.33 minus 23.90 plus 2335.05 0.00987 3.14 e minus 10. These are the floating point literals. Next, see the complex numbers. Complex numbers are nothing but using two real numbers. Python converts the real numbers into complex numbers by using complex function. Example of complex number is 1 plus 2 asterisk j. This is one of the example. When we learn using the programs, when we are using in the programs, typing the programs, at that time we can understand about these all topics. Next, as we have discussed before, Python modes are two ways. So interactive mode and script mode. Previously we have worked with the script mode. Now let's see about the interactive mode. Interactive mode in the Python, instructions are executed by line, giving the output. In this mode, commands are typed next to Python command prompt. So if you want to work in the interactive mode, you have to follow this process. Click on start button, all programs, Python 3.7, ideally idle, Python 3.7. This you have to select. It will open Python shell window where you will see the Python prompt. Now you can type the Python commands at the prompt and get the result immediately. So after clicking on start button, selecting these all, you will be displayed the idle. At that time you will be received a window like this. So here you can start typing your programs. Next, what is the use of interpreter in interactive mode? As I said, interpreter means it is used to translate high level language to low level language. When you type a command next to the prompt and press enter key, the interpreter converts the command into machine language. After processing, the interpreter again converts into the machine code to the human readable format. Means low level language to high level language and high level language to low level language. The interactive mode is beneficial for testing code when you type the commands at one time and get the result or error immediately. So means you will get a line by line result. So if you are having any error there, at that time it will be easy to us to identify in this line you are having error. So in this line we have to rectify like that. Now let's see the next one using print function. This brackets is nothing but called a function. The print function is used to display output of any command on the screen. It can also be used to print specified messages. Example, print hello world. What it will do? What is the use of this? Means it will print whatever the command or statement we have defined in the brackets, that will be print as the output. Like this we will receive the output. Next, Python is a case sensitive programming language. As I said, it is a means of Python differentiates between uppercase and lowercase letters. For example, P. Here P is an uppercase letter and here P is an lowercase letter. So what is a valid command? So here this is a keyword. So this we should not use anywhere except if we are having this. If you want to use this one, then only we can use. We should not use this as a name like that. It is a valid command. While print is just a word and not a command. This uppercase letter we can use. But if in the starting p it is a lowercase letter, we cannot use that one. We have to use when we have to print the output. When we can also pass more than one argument in print function. In such case, arguments are separated by commas. Like this it seems. If you want to print more than one statement, 5 plus 5 equals to comma 5 plus 5 and 5 into 5 equals to comma. So here two statements are printing at a time. This is a program. If you want to print more than two statements, we can print like this. Using idle as a calculator. It is not necessary to use print function to evaluate arithmetic expression. In Python, if we type an arithmetic expression at the Python prompt, press enter key, the interpreter automatically evaluates it and shows the result. So the expressions are evaluated using the operators plus, minus, into, slash, etc. By using this BODMAS rule, the rules will be followed and perform calculations. Example, if we see this input, 10 plus 2 means it will give the addition. 45 by 6 means division and the last answer will be given. 67 double slash by 8 means it will give the answer like this. Next, 45 into 78 point dot means it will multiply and it will give the answer like this. Now let's see this next topic, variables in Python. When you are working with values in Python, you are required some storage to hold values for later use. So such storage locations are known as variables. If you want to print your age, first of all, your age should be stored in the computer. Means you have to enter your age. That age means you will give any of the name, means age. So that age acts as a variable here. That variable will be displayed as your output. A variable's name is a memory location that stores data whose value may change during program execution. A variable can store only data value at a time. Only once it will take the data. When a new value is stored, the previous value gets overwritten. Like when we go to the ATM to withdraw cash, we will enter a PIN number. Our PIN number will be saved, children? No. When we take off our card from the machine, that will be erased. Next, another person will enter that at that time of that transaction only it will be saved. Then otherwise it will be erased. Next, how many operators are there? As I said, arithmetic operators, and this is an assignment operator. Values are assigned to variables using assignment operator. For example, statement x equal to 25 means it assigns the value 25 to the x. Let's see this. A equal to 10 means 10 is being stored in A. B equals to 20. 20 is stored in B. C equals to A plus B, which means the addition of A plus B will be stored in C. Next, now A equal to C minus 10. Previously the value is 10. Now that will be erased, and C minus 10, the value of C minus 10 will be stored in A. Next, rules to write the variable names. If you want to write a variable names, if you want to write a program, you have to follow some rules. Those rules are: a variable must start with a letter, either uppercase or lowercase, or an underscore. A variable name cannot consist of letter, digits and underscore. No other character is allowed. Variable names are case sensitive. For example, capital AGE and small age are different variable names. Here some of the examples of variable names. Now let's see these are valid or not. Employee space code. Here space won't allow. 10 code. Why? Because starting numerical digit won't accepted. A.B.C. Here dot won't allow. Capital ABC @ limited. Here @ symbol is not allowed. Else is a keyword, that's why it won't accept as a variable name. Now let's see the last topic, working in script mode. Interactive mode is preferred for small programs, and whereas script mode we can write the lengthy program source code. Only few commands are executed. This is because the output in interactive mode is compressed between statements and may get confusion. For writing lengthy programs, script mode will be used. Using this mode, we can create, edit programs, and we can also save our files that can be used later. The script mode is also written in an editors like Notepad in Windows. How to create a module or script or program file in Python. Open idle Python, click on file, new file in the idle, and it will be created a new file, and it will be opens a new window. You can type the commands you want to save the program. Click on file, save. That program name you have to specify. Whatever name you want to give, that you can give. Here program 1 is a name, .py is an extension. What extension? Python contains an extension. .py is an extension for Python. Now run module or script or program file. If you have written a program, you want to see that output na children. For that output, how you want to run? After Python program file is created, you can run the program by following these steps. Open idle Python shell, click on file, open, click on run module. In that run module, press F5. These all will be executed the commands which you have stored in a Python shell window. So these are the differences, and you can also observe the differences between the script mode and interactive mode. You can also share with your friends what are the differences and all. So this is about your first chapter, Introduction to Python language. I hope you all understood. Let's learn all these topics clearly, thoroughly, and all of you fill the textual exercises.